Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is June 2023. We're in Savannah, Tennessee, and just driving through town. We're not going to stop or anything, but this is a really cool little town that I want to get back to, just to explore some more. It's got some history, and it's definitely overshadowed by the neighboring Pickwick Landing State Park. And of course, the Battle of Shiloh happened not too far from here. In fact, we were here a year and a half, 2 years ago. We went down and we spent a couple of days exploring the Shiloh battlefield, Corinth, and then we stayed at the Pickwick Landing State Park Lodge. I've put up videos about all of that other stuff. Feel free to look that stuff up if you'd like. And Savannah has some great Civil War history on its own. About 5.5 minutes into this video, you'll see a little marker about Grant's headquarters here. And let me give you just a little bit of information. I'm going to go straight from Wikipedia, but just a little bit of information about Savannah. The city's original name was Rudd's Ferry, named for James Rudd, an early settler who established a ferry at the site in the early 1820s. Rudd's Ferry was later purchased by a wealthy landowner, David Robinson. The city was renamed Savannah after Savannah, Georgia, the hometown of Rudd's wife, Elizabeth. And concerning the Battle of Shiloh, Hardin County was the site of the 1862 Battle of Shiloh, also known as the Battle of Pittsburgh Landing, during the Civil War. The battleground site is 10 miles southwest of the city of Savannah. Union General U.S. Grant commandeered the Cherry Mansion just off the city square for use as a headquarters during the battle. And then it also talks a little bit about Pickwick Landing State Park. It's 12 miles south of Savannah. Originally a steamboat stop, the Tennessee Valley Authority bought the site in the 1930s during the Great Depression and constructed a dam in Pickwick Lake so electricity could be generated. In 1969, Tennessee bought 681 acres from the TVA and made it a state park. By the way, it's a very nice state park. The lodge is spectacular. We actually took our dog Forrest with us, and the staff there was incredible. It was newly updated. It's just a beautiful lodge on a beautiful state park, and I'm sure we'll be there again at some point. But it's great. And a little bit, and unfortunately, we did not go by the Cherry Mansion. It was just a little bit off of our path, but next time I'm in town, we'll have to go there. And it's the Cherry Mansion is still there. It's privately owned, and I think they do tours sometimes if you have prior arrangements. During the Civil War, again back to Wikipedia. Cherry, the mansion owner, was sympathetic to the Union, and before the Battle of Shiloh, his house served as a headquarters for not just Grant, but also C.F. Smith, Don Carlos Buell, and W.H.L. Wallace. And General Grant and his staff, according to the Cherry family tradition, they sat down to breakfast April 6, 1862, when they heard distant cannon fire, indicating the battle had begun 7 miles up the river. And they got on a steamboat and traveled up there. Anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit about the Cherry Mansion that I did not go by on this trip. I am sorry. But just some info there. And like I said before, we came down and we went and toured the battlefield at Shiloh. And it's an incredible battlefield. We did a tour with Larry DeBerry. You can look him up. I know he does private tours of the battlefield, and we had an incredible time. The Battle of Shiloh, to me, is probably the most interesting battle of the Civil War. It was dark. It was bloody. You had a lot of Civil War heavyweight names involved in the battle, and there were missed opportunities by both sides that really could have probably could have ended the battle early. If both sides could have played their cards a little differently, things Yeah, things could have happened very differently. The Union, of course, on day one was absolutely unprepared for the attack that the Confederates, the Confederates totally caught them off guard. And then, of course, the Confederates were hungry and not in the best of shape. They were having their struggles, and when they basically chased the Federals from their campsite, they started looting and started eating their breakfasts and that sort of thing. And there was just a whole lot of some sloppy work on both sides. I think Grant learned from his mistakes. He got his act together quickly, and of course, with the help of some reinforcements, ended up saving the day for the Union. Anyway, it's a very, very exciting battle, and I've put up videos about that elsewhere. And of course, you're right here on the Tennessee Mississippi border, and there's just a ton of great history through here. Not far from the Natchez Trace Parkway. I'll put up some videos about that stuff later. By the way, this is a gorgeous bridge, and I just love the sky this day, and it was just a treat driving over this bridge away from Savannah. We were here basically doing Civil War sites, mostly in Mississippi, but we were lucky enough to drive through Savannah, and it looks like they have back a few minutes. They've got some neat little shops and stuff in town, so I want to get back to Savannah. If you live in Savannah, what did I miss? What else is there to see? It just looks like such a pretty little town, and I've had a moment. I've enjoyed it passing through a couple of times now, but I need to make a point to go back and actually stop and walk around some.